Am I the a-hole for supporting my nephew after he taught his golden child brother a lesson he will never forget? Context: I, 31 male, and my brother 40 male have two sons, Jack, 16, and James, 13. Jack was born when my brother was still in college. He didn't want a child at that time. He and his girlfriend struggled for a while, managing their studies and raising a child. Thankfully, our parents were supportive and helped him. I also helped in any way I could. Eventually, he finished his studies, landed a job at 27, and got married to his girlfriend. Then their second child, James, was born. Both of them spoiled him a lot. Whenever our parents or I said anything, they claimed James was their planned child, and since they were in a good position, James deserved it. At the same time, they neglected Jack. They gave James expensive gifts, toys, clothes, snacks, and everything. The saddest part is that Jack never once complained. I watched that kid be happy just because his brother was happy opening his gifts. James, on the other hand, was spoiled rotten. He constantly compared his things to Jack's, and if Jack ever got something good from someone, he wanted it too. This problem kept growing. The negligence towards Jack worsened, and James started taking advantage of it. He began getting Jack grounded for things he did, and their parents always believed James no matter what. Over the years, I saw the sparkle in Jack's eyes fade. Now the incident happened this Christmas. To be clear, I love both of my nephews. I don't approve of James's behavior, but I blame the parents, not the kid. So for Christmas, I bought both of them a Nintendo Switch. Jack had wanted one for years, and he almost cried when he got it. He hugged me and thanked me. But James hated it, saying, "I wanted a PS5, not this," and threw it away. I didn't care because I did my part. Whatever he did with his gift was none of my concern. I was not going to enable this kid like his parents did. A few days after Christmas, Jack came knocking on my door. The kid was crying and shaking. I let him in, calmed him down, and asked him what happened. To keep it short, after I gave them both a Nintendo Switch, Jack was too happy with it. He played The Legend of Zelda whenever he had time, and he was having so much fun. That didn't sit well with James. To ruin Jack's fun, James broke his own console and cried to their mom, claiming that Jack broke it. Their mom believed him, snatched Jack's console, gave it to James, and grounded Jack. Jack just lost it this time. Years of unfair treatment finally got to him. He grabbed James by the neck and started choking him. He said he didn't know what came over him, but his mom's screaming and beating couldn't stop him. He just saw red. He started screaming at James, demanding that he tell the truth. James was struggling and begging Jack to release him, and finally, James admitted the truth. Jack let go. James was left gasping for air, and Jack ran away, straight to my apartment. After a while, I received a phone call from my brother, asking me to send Jack home because he had a lot to answer for. Jack wanted to return home to face the consequences alone, but I went with him. When we arrived, I saw James visibly terrified of Jack. He had never faced consequences for his actions before, and it looked like Jack's anger had truly scared him. My brother started screaming at Jack, but I stopped him. I asked James, in front of everyone, why he did what he did. He didn't say anything at first, but when I pushed, he finally admitted. Jack was having too much fun, and it irritated him. That kid was so spoiled that someone else's happiness bothered him. His mom started to defend him, saying, "He's just a kid," and blah blah. I stopped her and sent Jack outside to sit in my car. Then I let my brother have it. I told him everything, how he had failed as a father, how he had neglected Jack, how he had spoiled James to the point of making him a terrible human being. My brother just listened. He didn't say a word. His wife tried to say something again, but this time he shut her up. It looked like reality had finally hit him. He finally realized his younger son was becoming a terrible person. I told him that if they hated Jack so much, I could take him in. Then I left and took Jack back to my apartment. Now Jack is here with me. His mother has been blowing up my phone, saying I was cruel to James and that I shouldn't meddle in their family affairs. She accused me of favoritism toward Jack. I didn't reply to her. I haven't heard anything from my brother yet. Maybe he's still processing his mistakes. For now, Jack is with me, playing games, studying. He's such a great kid. And if his parents don't want him back, I plan to support him until he graduates and gets on his feet. Am I the a-hole for taking Jack's side? Now for the top comments. Hopefully your brother will understand what was going on and not criticize you for having Jack at your house and defending him. Jack's mother will probably always lash out against you. Hopefully Jack can live at your house for a while until things calm down. You need to make sure that James is not going to seek revenge and do something evil. You're not the a-hole for defending your nephew. I believe my brother realized his actions. He was shocked when James admitted what he did, and he didn't say a word when I was screaming at him. Maybe it's a good idea to invite your brother to an evening together. Not to berate him again, but just to hang out together, eat something good, maybe play some board games with Jack if you're into it. Just have a fun evening together. This way, you show him that your concern comes from love, not bad feelings. This also might show him how Jack is thriving in a safe home and what a good and sweet kid he really is. I will actually do that. For now, I am just calming down Jack, making him feel he is not alone and he is loved. Then I plan to call my brother and have a talk with him. Not the a-hole. For Jack to have to do that just to get the truth from his brother, it shows he had a lot of restraint over the years. But everyone has a breaking point. My younger siblings were spoiled rotten. When I moved out at 21, my parents finally saw what I'd been dealing with for years and couldn't handle it. OP, you have saved Jack from not only his family, but himself. He ran to you, had the maturity to go home and face the consequences, and you shielded him. You are the very best, and I hope you and Jack find peace with each other now and in the future. Honestly, I was not that brave or sensible like Jack when I was 16. I will do my best to support him. Next story. Am I the a-hole for telling my family it's not my fault I'm not a twin? My parents struggled to have kids and underwent fertility treatments, which resulted in 2 sets of non-identical boy-girl twins who, for the most part, look identical. The older twins are Max and Amy, and the younger twins are Jace and Lacey. Our family has always been obsessed with the fact that 2 sets of twins were born to the same parents, and that they could pass for identical, even though they're the opposite sex. Birthdays, Christmas, school plays, sports games, report cards, graduations, everything was a huge deal and celebrated as this great unique thing. My siblings had countless parties thrown for them and received so many gifts for every possible occasion that it was insane. I was born 6 years after Jace and Lacey, and my family has never hidden their disappointment in having a singleton. My birthdays were never a big deal, and I didn't get the same attention for Christmas, report cards, sports games, or school plays. For my siblings, the whole family would try to show up and support them, while I was lucky if even one parent attended anything for me. My report cards were never celebrated either. I'm not particularly close to my siblings. They don't notice me much and enjoy the attention, so it's easy for me to slip through the cracks. But even our parents don't put the same amount of effort into me as they do for them. A weekend ago, my graduation became a topic of conversation. My siblings couldn't make it because of work or college, and the rest of the family responded with, "Well, I guess we don't need to plan around your graduation." I told them I would still like everyone there, but they said I didn't need anyone there. I asked why my siblings had full family support at theirs, and they told me it was a big deal because they were twins, one of 2 sets born to the same parents, and could pass for identical. They said that was something to celebrate. I told my family it wasn't my fault I wasn't a twin, and that I didn't understand why I was being overlooked. My grandpa said that at 17, I shouldn't be jealous of the attention other kids get, and that as a boy, I shouldn't get caught up in that kind of thing. I responded that even teenage guys want to feel like they matter. My family told me I was being unreasonable. One of my aunts accused me of gaslighting the family, while my grandma, parents, and a couple of other aunts and uncles said I was emotionally trying to manipulate them. They now want me to apologize to everyone for saying it's not my fault I'm not a twin, because according to them, nobody ever said it was. Am I the a-hole? Not the a-hole. I am so sorry your family sucks so much. It's not gaslighting people to say, I matter too. I hope you have, or find, amazing friends to be a found family, because you deserve live attention and support. Not the a-hole. I'm sorry. The only thing I can say is get so successful that never speak to them again. Change your will to make sure your money never goes to them. Just be better than they ever will. Yikes. So your parents went through all this time, money and effort to have a large family, and they treat you like a throwaway? I'm sorry. I didn't realize that happening to be born on the same day as another sibling was such a significant accomplishment. Next story. Am I the a-hole for siding with my daughter over my wife over adoption and what she calls her? I, 35 male, have an 11-year-old daughter, Haley, with my ex. My ex died when Haley was 2, but I was already a single parent at that point. Haley knows about her mom in an age-appropriate way. She understands her mom's struggles and that she wasn't in her life prior to her passing. I had a therapist help me navigate those discussions, and Haley still attends therapy at times to work through any lingering questions or sadness about the way her mom's life turned out. I met my wife, Amy, 33 female, when Haley was 4. Haley was 6 when they first met. I admit I took my time introducing them. I was cautious because I didn't want to risk Haley getting attached if things didn't work out. I also wanted to be sure Amy understood what she was signing up for by being with me. A huge part of me worried about how Haley would handle it. But they got along great from the start, and it was amazing to witness their bond grow. Amy was wonderful with Haley, and Haley enjoyed having Amy around. When Haley was 7 and Amy and I got married, Haley asked if she could call Amy Suds, a nickname Amy's family uses for her. Amy was thrilled that Haley wanted to use that nickname. Things were good. There were some discussions on Amy's side about what Haley would call them. Haley generally uses first names for most people and nicknames for a few. Amy's parents grumbled at one point about not being called Grandma and Grandpa, but Amy told them the decision was Haley's and that they should focus on earning those titles over time. Things changed when Amy became pregnant with our daughter, Summer, 7 months. Suddenly, Amy became hurt by Haley calling her Suds or using her first name. She was also bothered that Haley referred to her as her stepmom or as Dad's wife, depending on who she was talking to. Stepmom was more common, but at times, she would say Amy was my wife. Amy and I talked about it, and I told her nothing had changed. Amy told me that was the problem. She was giving Haley a sister, and it bothered her that she hadn't earned the title of mom in Haley's eyes. She also pointed out that she would be home with Summer, taking on more responsibility for Haley, and it stung to think she would be acting as a mother, but not being recognized as one. At my request, we saw a family therapist together. After several sessions, we brought Haley in for a bit. The therapist reassured Amy that Haley loved her and that their relationship was strong, even if Haley didn't call her mom. But that didn't settle Amy. Now Amy has not let this go. Without saying anything to me, she asked Haley if she would let her adopt her. Haley told her that she loved her, but didn't want to be adopted. I only found out about this conversation from Haley, and I was upset. Amy, in turn, was upset that I was upset. She told me she doesn't want to continue like this. She said she wants Haley to call her Mom, or at least some variation of it. She also still wants to adopt Haley and make their relationship more than just guardianship, which she already has. When Haley and I talked about it, she was honest. She didn't want to be adopted. She was sad that Amy was upset and didn't want to hurt her feelings, but she was firm in her decision. Amy, however, is still hurt and upset that I chose Haley's feelings over hers. She told me I should at least tell Haley to call her mom. I told her that should be Haley's choice, just like Amy had previously told her parents. Amy said she used to believe those titles could be earned, but that belief has died. I asked if this was truly a deal breaker for her, and she said yes, because she hates hearing Haley use her name or her nickname while she always calls me Dad. Amy has confided in her parents about everything, and they told me I was doing Amy wrong by siding with Haley. They said this is about respect, not just feelings, and that it's disrespectful for Haley to not call Amy Mom after all this time. Am I the a-hole? Now for the top comments. Not the a-hole. Go back to family therapy. If Amy can't let this go, things are going to get really ugly. That might not be a terrible idea for just the two of us. I worry Haley being there will make things worse right now. Not the a-hole. Amy needs to pour herself a nice tall glass of grow the heck up. You did the right thing by protecting your daughter instead of catering to your wife's insecurities. I wish her mindset from before could return. She even used to say as long as she wasn't the wicked or hated stepmom, she was happy, and now she's unhappy with anything other than mom. Get Amy checked for postpartum depression. It can do crazy things to your mind, I know from experience. She was already checked for that, but this also started before she gave birth. Although I know stuff can pop up even during pregnancy. But with her already being checked, I'm not sure it is that. Admittedly, it could still be. Put your foot down hard. Tell Amy she and her parents need to stop the childish behavior. Last story. Am I the a-hole for kicking my sister out after she laughed at me and my disabled wife? My wife and I are both 23. We started dating when we were 15 and got married 4 years ago. Our families were against us getting married so young, saying we were too young to commit, but we went through with it anyway. They attended the wedding, though we could sense their discomfort. Now both of our families get along, and I felt like we had all come together because my wife and I were happy, and so were they. 7 months ago, my wife had an accident. She broke both of her legs and suffered facial scars, which led her into depression. I've been doing my best to support her, comfort her, and provide as much physical and emotional care as I can. The doctors are trying their best, but the truth is, she's possibly paralyzed for life. She knows it, and so do I, but I'm committed to helping her through this. 3 days ago, my sister came to visit us. She got drunk and started making fun of our situation. She blabbered on, saying it was karma for hurting everyone in our family. Thankfully, my wife wasn't around as she was sleeping. I asked my sister to get in the car, and I dropped her off at her place. The next day, she apologized and said she didn't mean to hurt me. I told her that what she said was deeply hurtful. If she had hit me, I could have forgiven her. But making fun of what my wife and I are going through is something I cannot accept. I told her I would never talk to her again. Now my parents are saying I should forgive and forget because she was drunk. But I feel like she was extremely disrespectful to both of us and our struggle, and making fun of it is not something I can overlook. Not the a-hole. Drunk words are sober thoughts. I've always believed what people say when they are drunk are their true thoughts, because inhibitions go out the window when you're intoxicated. You say and do things you wouldn't normally do because all your filters are gone. I don't believe this as a blanket statement, but in this case, it is for sure her sober thoughts. Not the a-hole, but she was drunk is not an excuse. Go commit a crime, and when you're in front of the judge in court, tell them, I shouldn't be punished because I was drunk, and see how far that gets you. Drunk people don't just make things up out of the blue. They say the things that they have been thinking all along, but when they're sober are smart enough to keep to themselves. Actually, yes, that's what I am most concerned about. I am thinking, does my sister hate my wife so much that she's enjoying her suffering? Does she not realize that her brother is also suffering? Does she hate me as well? I love her, and I thought she loved me, even though we had a rough time. But to say this all, I would have preferred if my sister berated, insulted, or slapped me instead of what she said. At least I could have forgiven her. But she crossed boundaries, and I don't know how to forget her words even if she was drunk.